Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from our sponsor. The Daily Compliance News for September 23, 2022, the FASB Shakeup edition. And begin with that story from the Financial Times, as frustrated investors are calling for a shakeup of the top U.S. accounting rulemaker, saying its outdated standards means companies' financial statements no longer properly reflect their underlying businesses. An influential advisory group said that the FASB standards need tough new oversight and revamped decision-making process to speed up its works. So, FASB gets shook up, that'll be a big deal. Next up, Fat Leonard is back in the news. Yes, from the San Diego Union Tribune, it reports that Fat Leonard was arrested in Venezuela attempting to board a plane for parts unknown. So he's going to be in Venezuela. Whether Venezuela will extradite him to the United States, of course, is another matter. But Fat Leonard is finally caught. In an interesting business development, Salesforce is launching a marketplace for carbon credits that it says will tackle transparency and quality issues in this fast-growing field. The reason I find this so significant for the compliance professional, it demonstrates that when there is a business need, that means there's a business opportunity. And for Salesforce to step in with a trading platform on carbon credits really demonstrates that it's not governments that are driving ESG, it's businesses that are driving ESG. And if Salesforce is going to put together such a platform, you need to understand that your business could pivot or change in a way that you did not anticipate, and it could change or even enhance your risk profile. So I thought this was a really interesting development. Obviously, Salesforce is known for sales productivity platforms and is as ubiquitous as many other large software companies. But for them to move into the climate arena, I think really speaks to exactly what drives ESG, which is business opportunity, business risk, and business risk management. And our final story comes to us from Reuters. And it's the, unfortunately, just devastating story of a Charter Communications employee who murdered a customer, and then Charter engaged in some incredible actions after that. The Charter Communication employee was not on duty at the time. He went back to a customer's house. The guy's name is Roy Holden, and murdered a customer. But the actions by Charter after the murder really led to the punitive damages, including trying to avoid a lawsuit by claiming this was an arbitration claim. So if you wonder why juries get so pissed off at companies, you only need to look at this lawsuit. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.